Test, test, test. Let's see what's up, Lance, Joey, TPG, Tom, Bowery Boy, Roy Phipps, Someway, Clint, Tool Collector 72. What's up, Abraham? Got several members in here with their green letters showing up. Abraham, TPG, Clint Cole, or the Tool Collector 72. I always call the Tool Collector 72 Clint. So just so y'all know, if I say Clint, y'all know him too. But in case you're in here and you're not normally in here, it's gonna probably throw you off. Let me check lighting and see. Oop, not that one. That one. What's up, Denny? What's up, Caleb? Chris, BMCK. So, Caleb, have you got the, what's the name? Something, your Excalibur, but Excalibote. Have you got it out yet, Caleb? I just watched this. I don't know if you've got more than the ones I've seen, but I just watched the one where you went through pretty much every big impact. I think the DeWalt one was you were waiting for the bit. That's as far as I've got. I didn't know if you've got the Excalibote out or not yet. AI thumbnails are everywhere. Everyone uses the same font, kind of easy to spot. I'm only going to bring this up because I've gotten, and it's not a ton of comments, but I've gotten several in the last little bit, like on different videos. And a lot of times I'll have two thumbnails going at once. So I'll make one and then I'll make one with AI and I'll put them both out there. Like YouTube lets you load up like, I think up to 3, it might even be 4. I don't remember. I've never done more than 2. You can put two thumbnails in and then it'll randomly show, like you might see the AI version, you might see the one that I made, or if somebody makes 2 thumbnails, they can put 2 out there even if they make them. It doesn't have to be an AI and a regular. It could be any thumbnails you want to be. And you can test it out, and it basically gives you the percentage of how many percentage of people clicked on this one out of your views, what percentage clicked on this thumbnail or this thumbnail. It's not really all that scientific because it all depends on, like, let's say I have 1,000 people watch every video, no matter what it is, it wouldn't matter. I don't know that the 1,000 people could have saw the one that's the higher percentage and they click on every video that I put out. And then more people that were new people might have clicked on the one that was lower percentage, or it could be even worse. It could be skewed more. So I don't think it's really scientific in the fact that it's giving you 100%, but it's usually, for the most part, it leans towards the AI ones every time. Like it's 60-40 or so, because AI probably makes better thumbnails than I can, which is I'm going to get into as we talk about and it doesn't matter to me if I don't care either way. Like I don't care if somebody uses AI thumbnails. I don't care if they don't. I watch people for what's in the video. I could care less. Like most of the time I don't even look at a thumbnail for certain people. I just watch their videos all the time. Couldn't even tell you what their last thumbnail was. But I know some people obviously care. But I think the logic behind some people why they care is a little bit flawed. Like for instance, like some people have been really nice about it. They're just like, I don't really like AI thumbnails. I'm just letting you know I'm not really being a hater or anything like that, just being nice. And most people have been real good about it. But then every now and then you'll have somebody call you lazy for doing it or, whatever else. So that's the thing that I'm going to talk about, tonight. Caleb said they did get the Excalibote out. So sometimes you're going to see an AI thumbnail from me, even though I made another one, which again goes against the lazy aspect of it. Is sometimes I make a thumbnail and I also make an AI thumbnail and I put them both out there. So it's not the fact that I'm being lazy, but even with that, I want to ask the people who think that it's being lazy to make an AI thumbnail, have you ever even made an AI thumbnail? Because I'll be honest with you, sometimes it takes me longer to make an AI thumbnail to get it to do what I want it to do than it does for me to open up Canva and make my regular thumbnails, because my regular thumbnails aren't that crazy. You know, it isn't like I'm skilled enough to make them super good. So it's probably same amount of time, I'd say same amount of effort. But there is one key thing with the AI ones that helps me out that again I'll share as we talk about it tonight. I don't mind your thumbnails at all. I like them. So to the comment of that they're lazy, I guess my question would be how are we going to define, because that's the thing that irritated me out of any of the comments. Like again, and I'm not even going to say it irritated me. Nothing anybody says bothers me. It doesn't. Some people you can think whatever you want to about them. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you don't like it. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you do like it and I don't do one. It's like, because I can't please 42,000 people. Like, there's going to be some people that say, I love AI thumbnails and I wish you'd make more of them. There's going to be some people that say, I hate them and I don't wish you'd have any of them. And then every now and then again, you're going to get a comment of, if you keep doing them, I'm not going to watch. It's like, I mean, you can't, how many things do 42,000 people have in 100% common? And the answer is 0, like as far as their preferences and all that kind of stuff. So if you sit there and chase that stuff around all the time, you just drive yourself crazy. But again, the one comment that stuck out to me was the guy who called me lazy, because lazy is a stickler word for me. Like, you can call me anything, but if you call me that, it really irritates me. So now I'll probably get a bunch of comments calling me lazy. But again, one thing is, I doubt that anybody that's made a thumbnail using AI has made, or anybody saying that probably has even made one. So you don't even know what's involved in making one. But what is lazy? What does it mean to be lazy? To me, it's whenever you choose to do something the easy way when you know how to do better and get better results, but you choose the easy way with worse results. That's lazy. It's not choosing the easier way with the same results. That's being efficient in my mind, because it's just being smart. So being lazy to me is whenever you have the opportunity to get to here and you have the ability to get to here, but then you choose, I don't want to put in the effort to get to there. So instead I'm going to do this and just stay right here. So to me, if you were making AI thumbnails and they weren't better than the ones that you made, or, didn't come across as like giving the information out, or you were just doing it because, you had the ability to even do what AI does, because that's the big thing for me is I can't do what AI does. Like, I think the big misnomer for a lot of people out there is that everybody thinks that if you make YouTube videos, like you're 100% skilled in making videos and thumbnails and graphic design. And it's like, I'm a contractor. I go into places and I fix plumbing and electrical and I build things. I've never done graphic designing in my entire life. So I can open up Canva and I can spend quite a while on there and attempt to even make something like what AI makes. And it's not even going to be remotely even close. Like, it won't even be close. So the only times I use AI is because there's certain times where I can't fit everything that I want to be in the thumbnail in one picture. Like, because the only way I can make a thumbnail is to take a picture and then put words on it. And sometimes I can't fit 2 or 3 tool bags in a picture, or I can't fit the screwdriver twice in the picture because I only got one screwdriver. I can't take a picture of it as a whole screwdriver and then take a picture of it apart and put it in the same picture without doing a bunch of stuff and without having some kind of crazy software, which again, I don't have because I'm not a graphic designer. I'm a contractor who just so happens to make YouTube videos. But I think there's a lot of people out there that they think, well, if you make YouTube videos, you should have all the skills to do all these other things that bigger channels pay people to do. Like, I don't have anybody editing my videos. I don't have anybody making my thumbnails. I don't have anybody doing any of that stuff. I'm just a contractor who comes in here, turns on my iPhone, not even a camera, an iPhone, and records videos of tools. So I don't know what makes somebody think that I should have the skills to make certain things using a computer that I've never done before in my entire life. So that's one side of it. It's not necessarily that it's lazy. To me, it's an efficient way of doing things. And the biggest thing for me is time. And it's not even the time of, it takes less time to do an AI thumbnail as it takes to do a thumbnail in Canva. It takes me probably, again, like I said, the same amount of time. The difference with Canva is I can't make a thumbnail on my phone in Canva because it's too small. Like, I can't go in there and some of the things in Canva on your phone aren't the same as what they are on your computer whenever you're working on it. Like, you can only change the font of like this whole entire thing instead of one small thing. It's just a totally different thing. Versus the AI, I can be sitting there like today, I mixed up thin set, and you got to let it sit for a little while and then hit it again. I got 5 minutes. My phone's right there. I've got some photos of some stuff I'm reviewing. I can start playing around trying to make a thumbnail on my phone. I can't do that unless I've got my computer with me. So I'm not just sitting around my house all day for 8 to 10 hours making videos, editing thumbnails, because again, this isn't my job. So I think a lot of people must think that way, but it's not. And I don't think it's the case for most people of the videos that you guys watch out there. So I think you should take that in maybe consideration when you think about some of the things that maybe somebody does, even if it does save them time. It doesn't mean necessarily that they're being lazy. It just means they're being efficient with their time. Because at the same time, I've heard over the course of my channel that people want people who use tools to review tools. Well, that means you want a contractor, or you want somebody in the trades, or you want somebody who does DIY that actually uses it and does it on a big scale or something like that. You don't want just somebody that's a guy that's wearing a shirt that comes out and telling you about a tool and they've never used a tool before in their life. Well, for you to have that kind of a tool reviewer, you've got to have a guy who's going to work. Like, I work during the day. I'm not sitting at home making thumbnails and making videos. Then you also probably want somebody that answers comments all the time. Okay, well, so now you've got a guy who's going out and working and making videos, or working and doing regular work like drywall framing, all those kinds of things. And then he's answering all the comments on his channel. That takes a lot of time. And then he's also filming videos to show you tools that you want to see. And then he's also making thumbnails. So I'm just saying, if somebody can get a extra hour or something of time out of their life, because AI might save a little bit of time because they're able to do it on their phone and not have to be on their computer. Again, it's not about being lazy. It's about being efficient, and AI does a better job. So I've got some pictures up here. Let me see. So this is, in case y'all didn't see the thumbnail, let me make sure this is on the screen. Yeah, y'all can see it. So this is my normal thumbnail that I make in Canva. So this is a picture that I took of my Atlas pouch with my tools in it. That's an Atlas logo that I went and got off the internet. These are words that I put in there, but this is as good as I can do on Canva. I can't do anything, fantastic with it, because again, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not skilled. I don't have a. So then I just asked AI, I gave it this picture and this picture and said, can you make me a thumbnail Atlas 46 technician's pouch? And this is what it put out. It's the same. This is my picture. These are the same. This is the same logo that I went and got for over here. These are the same words. And in my opinion, this looks like way better. And I'm even the one that made this one. And I'm telling you, I think this one looks better. Like, if I was scrolling through YouTube, I would click on this one before I would maybe click on, oh, I keep going the wrong way, that one. And it's not that I don't like this one. And I've made a billion thumbnails that look just like this, but I don't see any difference I still took this picture. I still went and got that logo. I still told it these words is what I want in there. And it's my stuff. It's just, it made the image a lot better. And that's an AI thumbnail. I put this one on there. This is my picture. This Milwaukee rear handle. This is the one that it did. I don't like what it does to the person necessarily, but I did the test on this one. 68% people versus 32, I guess it would be. So 68% to 32% people clicked on this one versus this one. Like this one, I asked AI, this is my picture. This is my picture. I asked it to do this. I can't do that. There's my lawnmower. This is an example of, like, I can't fit all these bags and all this stuff. I can't get in one picture, like, and still have room for words and all that stuff. I can't. Now, I'm not saying somebody can't. I'm saying I can't because I'm not a graphic designer. So again, I get some people don't like it, but to call somebody lazy, that's where I'll draw the line on it. That's where I got irritated with it. But let's see. Let me get caught up before we talk more in case y'all had questions. TPG said AI don't bother me at all. AI presenters, however, are maddening. And again, most of mine are still my pictures. Like, I don't just ask it to generate something out of the middle of nowhere, but again, I'm sure there are some people out there that can do text and make it look just like my AI thumbnails. I can't do it because I don't have probably the software to do it. Again, I'm using Canva, the free version. I don't even pay money for Canva because even if I paid money for it, I don't know that I'd know how to use any of the extra features anyways, because I'm a contractor. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a, expert in video. I'm not an expert in camera and, different kind of ratios and pixelation and all them other words that would go along with that. I have no idea about none of that stuff. Nice one on the screen. Caleb said, I agree. The AI thumbnails are getting pretty obnoxious and try to keep a little more simple, but more people have clicked on the AI thumbnails for me. What's sad is I probably put more work in the AI thumbnails. That's what I was saying whenever, because me and Amanda were talking about it, because she's watched me do both. Like, she's watched me sit on my computer and make a thumbnail using Canva, and she's watched me use my phone to make one using like ChatGPT. And she even said, she's like, she said, I honestly think it's probably takes you longer to make one using that AI than what it does on Canva. And it does. If I'm making one that's like this, because I've got this template right here down. Like, all I got to do is go in and change this picture, change this words, change that logo, and then I can do that. But again, sometimes certain things that I do, this doesn't work well. Like, I can't get everything that I want in it. And maybe I put too many words in mine. I don't know. But I try to put more words on the thumbnail because I know nobody reads the titles. So I try to put certain things on the thumbnails for the information of what's going to be in the video. I prefer your thumbnails. I'm guessing you're getting comments from people who are against AI because it rips off other people's content without permission. Kind of like training the new guy, but paying him double than what they're paying you and the guy training him. Except you can't quit and you have to keep training them. I'm extremely judgy on the AI because thumbnails are so fake looking. No one is using AI in an innovative way. And that's the other side of it is I don't even know how to use AI in a fancy way. All I know to tell it is, here's the picture I took of what I'm reviewing. Here's what I want you to make it say. And here's a logo for the company that I want you to use. Again, I'm sure there are probably better ways. And then also I'm using the free version of that too. I only get like 2 or 3 edits before they're like, oh, you can't do anything else until tomorrow. So sometimes I can't get real picky with it. I'm guessing they are a time saver. They're only a time saver for me in the instance that I can do some on my phone while I'm at work waiting on something, or whatever, and I don't have to come do it whenever I get home because I can't do anything on my phone as far as thumbnails. And I guess I would also say it's kind of like to me. So here's what I would kind of equate it to for the people who are just against it in general. And if you do the work like what some of us do that are in here. So if I know that if I need to leave the place I'm working and go to the store and get something, and it's something that's kind of iffy on whether or not this store has it, this store has it, or this store has it, what am I going to do? Am I going to just go drive to every store and see if they've got it? And I'm talking about a person who gets paid by the job, not a person that gets paid by the hour. If you get paid by the hour, you might do that. But, or am I going to get up and get my phone out and open up the Lowe's app and the Home Depot app or Google or whatever and search for whatever it is that I'm looking for? See, to me, that's you being efficient, and that's no different in using something to make your thumbnail or whatever else. So someone who would call you lazy for using AI to make a thumbnail is probably, again, a same person that opens up their Google app and asks, for a part number on something. It's like, oh, well, that's kind of the lazy way to go do it. Why don't you go over to the store and get out the parts catalog and look up your model number and all that stuff and figure out what your windshield wiper size is and, all that stuff. It's like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to open your phone now and ask it, what size is the front driver's side windshield wiper on a, whatever F-150. You're going to ask it that and it's going to tell you. You're not going to go over to that book that's in the AutoZone place and look up what your, wiper size is. That's being efficient because you feel like that's faster. That's what you're doing. It's the same thing. It's not being lazy. If that's faster for you and that's how you want to do it, you can kind of get it figured out before you even go. That's the better way to do it for you. And again, I don't care if anybody doesn't like it. I'm not arguing against it or for it. I don't care if somebody uses AI in their thumbnails or they don't. And if I'm okay with you not liking somebody using AI in their thumbnails, and I'm okay with you liking somebody using AI in their thumbnails, it doesn't matter to me. I just, the word, when you call someone lazy without knowing the person or the motives behind it, and you're being a hypocrite because you use AI for all sorts of stuff every day to make your day more efficient, but it's because somebody's using something that you don't use that you like to go. That's the classic case of everybody in the world. That's when you start calling somebody something that's kind of silly. James said, I have no problem with people making a good picture to click on. I spot the videos from your backdrop, spot the workbench right away. Yeah, and like I said, I still use the same picture that I make my thumbnails with is the same picture I give it. It's not like, again, it's not like I'm saying, hey, ChatGPT, go get a picture of somebody using this saw and make me a thumbnail. It's still the same picture. If I'm going to make one, it's the same exact thing. Because I've got pictures on my phone for videos I've made. I just maybe haven't had time to make a thumbnail yet. And again, sometimes I'm sitting around at work and I'm like, well, I'll see what ChatGPT can do with this while I'm sitting here. And then if I like it, I like it. I think that most of them look better than what I can do, but that's because I don't think I'm very good at making thumbnails. I don't mind AI thumbnails as long as you're not AI. We know it's a lot of work for you to do video shorts, guested trades, lives like clockwork. It's a community, not a tool channel. Yeah, that's what I said. If you've got somebody who you like watching, and I ain't even saying it's me, but if you like watching them and they're working for a living and making videos on the side and they're answering every comment that you ever make, they're taking the time to do that. And they're also, doing lives like this for 2 hours every week, and they can catch a break and make a thumbnail that saves them maybe an hour or something like that a couple times a week. And again, it's not the saving you an hour because you're doing it instead of AI versus doing it yourself. It's maybe because I've got the time to do it while I'm waiting on something else because I'm not at my computer. That's the time saver for me. I mean, I'm just saying sometimes I think you expect too much out of somebody who's a content creator when their content creator is not their job. Sitting at they're not sitting at their house all day making videos and thumbnails. That's not what most people that you're watching the videos of, the people who watch my videos, the one I know most of y'all watch the same people I watch, and most of those people are smaller channels. They're still working every day. They're still doing all that stuff. You might be, I'm just saying, you might give a little bit of grace to somebody who can save a little bit of time in their life. They have an issue with your thumbnails and choose not to watch because they have a bigger personal problem, and we'll pray for them. Well, it's like I said, it's not even that. No matter what it is, because I get different comments on different stuff. And by far, if you're watching this and you've made a comment about my thumbnails and AI, like I said, most people have been pretty respectful about it. Most people have been like, "Hey, I've noticed you've started using AI in your thumbnails more. I prefer not having it." And but I'm just even most of the time they'll even end it. It's like it's your channel. You can do whatever you want to. I'm just giving you my uh, critique or whatever, and usually even end it with "have a good day" or whatever else. Most people have been really cool about it. So I'm not by far making this video. I'm not talking about it during this live because of your comment in particular or anything like that. I've just noticed I've gotten some in the last probably month or so as I've been using it, maybe a little bit more. So I just thought I'd talk about it. Is this really a discussion as to whether or not to use AI to make a YouTube thumbnail? What in the world is going on? Who cares? That's how I feel about it, Pie Guy. But some people, I just told some of the guys in here I sent the message to, and I was like, to me, it's the shark bite of to what a shark bite is to a plumber. Maybe the AI is to the people who make. There's a lot of people that make money off of making people thumbnails. Uh, so I'm sure there's a big push to don't be using AI to make thumbnails. But like I said, there's nobody filming my videos for me other than Amanda will. Every now and then she'll film me while I'm in it, but she's not because I need her to for a certain thing, whatever it is. But there's nobody editing my videos for me. There's nobody making my thumbnails. There's nobody doing any of that stuff. And I still work and I still do everything. I still answer every comment, like every single one of them. But yet you still get called lazy because you use an AI thumbnail. Workshop Addict, Shop Tool Reviews, Blue Collar Sparky are all channels I watch, and I can't tell them apart by their thumbnails anymore. Don't let people pour yellow stuff in your food around cereal. I would never consider you or anyone that uses them lazy. That's the thing for me, Abraham, is that right there. I would never consider you or anyone that uses them lazy. And I'm not saying that somebody that does use them isn't lazy, and I'm not saying that somebody that's not using them isn't lazy either, like because they're not using it. But I'm just saying you can't paint anything like that with a broad brush of the motive behind somebody using it. And as I said, most of the time, probably 90% of the time, when you see an AI thumbnail, I probably have a regular thumbnail that's being tested right alongside of it. Like I made one too, like because after the first couple comments I got about that, and it's been a month or two or whatever ago, I decided, because sometimes I was just making an AI one, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna make one like I would normally make, and then I'm gonna make one out of this, and I'm gonna put them both up beside each other and see kind of what happens with that. And AI one wins like every time; it never fails. And I would expect it to, because again, I don't make thumbnails for a living. I care about the video also. When I start a video, you have 5 seconds to have me or don't. Joey, the majority of folks used to think smoking cigarettes was cool and harmless. What's up, HVAC Knights? I don't know who's behind the HVAC Knights. I don't know if that's Adrian or Curtis or Kraus. What's up, Aiden? I guess I'm really lazy because I just pick what I think is the best picture. And I think that's the majority of people on YouTube, James. And that's why the thumbnails are such a big deal. Like, if you don't have a good one, like, people aren't going to, I say that, but in some instances, I think it matters, and then sometimes I don't. And that's like, there's plenty of people out there that don't have AI thumbnails and they get tons of views. And there's plenty of people out there that have AI thumbnails and get plenty of views. And there's plenty the other way around. They don't get any. I mean, like Doc at Last Best Tool, he just puts a picture up there. He's doing just fine. And I'm sure it would be similar-ish if I just did something like that too. Project Pine Hills, his is usually very good thumbnails, but very little words. Maybe I put too many words in mine. I don't know. Again, I'm not a person who does it for a living. So I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a thumbnail maker. I'm not a YouTube algorithm specialist. I'm not a professional in the sense of how I know YouTube works. All I do is do what I can do, whatever's within my capabilities of making something to put into a video form and put into a thumbnail form. I just do the best that I can do. That's all I can do. Sometimes I don't even see thumbnails. It pops up with a notification. It says Morgan's Maintenance. I click on my channel name. What do you think about the Milwaukee 7-in-1 wire strippers? Frankie Baklava said. I'm not sure which ones are the 7-in-1s. I get so mixed up on those at 6-in-1, 7-in-1s. The Milwaukee ones are pretty good for the price because they're usually in that $20 range. And you can pick them up at a box store. I used to they were my strippers that I ran for a long time before I found Knipex. And now that I've had the Knipex, I don't run anything else because they work best for me running MC cable. If you do Romex all the time, the Milwaukee ones, most of the Climb ones and all that are going to be pretty good. But the Knipex just work best for me in particular because of what the work that I do typically, because they'll work with everything I do versus some of the strippers make it to where I have to have a whole extra tool with me if I want to cut MC cable, which normally I have diagonals on me anyways, and that's normally what I usually cut them with. If I don't have a stripper that's going to open up, I usually still have those in my pouch anyways, but it's just still, I'm able to just do everything and keep that one pair of pliers out with the Knipex is why I like them. But 3 times the price. I will say that I've got the same pair of Knipex forge wire strippers that I probably use for like 2.5 years or something now, I guess. I'd have to look it up and see when I bought them. And they still cut like the day I bought them. And the Milwaukees that I used to have weren't that way. I like the thumbnail that's on your monitor now. Well, you don't want to know who made that. What's up, Timinator? Let me say this. I love AI. Hopefully Skynet won't kill me. Well, using AI to make a thumbnail to me is no different than using Google to search for something. Like it's the same. You're still using the computer and you're using it to do something for you. I know most people probably don't put them two things in the same category, but it's exactly the same to me. I mean, if you tell your phone to do stuff, text somebody, if you tell it to call somebody, if you tell it to look up something, if you ask it what the weather is, that's no different than saying, take these 3 pictures and make me a picture with these, like, and then spell it out and do all that kind of stuff. I use AI a little to help with thumbnails just to help save time. It always seems to pick better font and colors than I would. Well, like I said, I have Canva free. Maybe on Canva Pro, you can do some different stuff with graphics, like the words, the text, and all that stuff. There's very little I'm able to do. And I feel like there's still very little I'd be able to do even if I paid for the paid version. Cause again, I just don't get that stuff. It's not my cup of tea. I'm sure I could learn it. I'm sure I could come very good at it if I really, really wanted to. But my want to do that is very, very small. It's very low on my list of wanting to learn those skills because I don't feel like it's a skill that would help me in the big scheme of things. Because again, this is not my job. If you're a graphic artist by trade, it's one thing, but I barely pay attention to thumbnails, Sadago said. Now, what I could really do is I could save myself a lot of time and not even do AI thumbnails, not even do any thumbnails, and just put a picture of a girl in yoga pants in my thumbnails holding a tool, and I'd get 10 million views every single video, 200 something thousand views. Perfect AI is the shark bite. Yeah, it's the thing that's taking somebody's job. It's why they don't like it. Wish I made videos that get crappy comments. I got to try to get caught up because I must be pretty far behind with that. Let me see. I'm going to scroll through. So I usually pin the real negative comments, Clint. Oh, I've got screenshots of saved on my computer of tons of comments, which I've made some videos out of some of them. I make them the troll videos or whatever. I haven't done one of them in a long time, but every now and then I just go back and read them because I think they're funny. Let's see. Joey said, I love the forged Knipex, the Knipex forged wire strippers. Yeah, they're really good, in my opinion. Like I said, they've lasted a long time. Whenever I first bought my first pair of Knipex strippers, I was like, man, it's a lot of money, which I actually bought the electrical installation pliers first. And they are even more expensive than the forged wire strippers. But I bought those first. The forged wire strippers actually weren't out when I bought my electrical installation pliers. Had the forged wire strippers been out, I guarantee I would have probably not ever tried the electrical installation pliers. I won't say guarantee because I probably would have still ended up buying them, but I know I would have bought the forged wire strippers just based on features alone and then the cost. The electrical installation pliers are a little bit more expensive and they don't do near as much, but man, they are nice if you're only using what's on them. They're nice. So I'm glad that I did actually buy those before the forged wire strippers came out because I bet it would have been hard for me to pull the trigger on those at the time. Missed the convo, Mr. Burgundy said, but AI thumbnails are lazy and a huge turnoff. So there you go. Let's go back to the yoga pants idea. Maybe I should just start buying and wearing yoga pants. If you can't bother, spend 20 minutes making a thumbnail, get a new hobby. So, Mr. Burgundy, do you ever use Lowe's app, Home Depot app to search stuff? Or do you Google things? Or do you still get out encyclopedias? Or do you drive to every store to see what they've got before you go? And I'm not meaning that to be rude or anything. I'm seriously asking because again, you're saying someone's lazy because they use it. I think lazy is the wrong word. What's your thoughts on Vito's late releases? Well, the one the one's only going to be in store, it looks like. Now, I don't know if it's only going to be in store at the beginning. Let me see. Somebody pulled in the driveway. It might be Amanda, though. Yep. I don't know if it's going to be just at the beginning and then they're going to release it to everybody later. And it's just kind of a thing to get people in their stores. Like the SPMD. That's the one that's going to be just in stores, like their brick and mortar stores, I guess. Well, it's not, I don't even know if it's really it's the Vito Superstore, I think is what they're calling it. I still think it's a store within a store, but I don't know if they're going to release that later. The MB3 TB or whatever that was, I don't care anything about. Like, I don't use those bags. I've got an MB3 that I got for free on a promo one year, and I use it for my camera bag, like my DJI bag, but I don't ever use it for tools. It's not a good fit for me for tools. I could see it being like the thing that HVAC guys probably carry around with probes and stuff like that in it, but it's not something I use. I'm not using apps in Google to generate my work. Well, but I'm saying I give, so we'll go back to this since you relate. So this is my picture. That's the logo that I got off the internet, which again isn't my work. So I guess you're saying nobody should ever use logos in their stuff either. And this is still my picture. This is the same logo that I went off to get. And then this is just the words that the AI put on there for me. So I guess and I still made this one. So again, for someone to say somebody's lazy, I made this one and this one. That didn't clicked off. And they're both going. So it's not about being lazy. I made both those thumbnails. Like, I took the time to make both of them. And this one wasn't like this, like first draft. I had to tell it to do a few things and change some stuff and do whatever, but those are still my tools, like the same exact tools that are inside of the same exact pouch. I just don't have the capabilities to make mine. Like, there's people out there that could do that. I don't have the capabilities to do that because I'm a contractor. I'm not a YouTuber, like in a sense of I make videos and thumbnails all day long. So and that would be my guess for most people that make tool videos. That would be my guess, is like they don't specialize in graphic design. Website traffic to non-commercial websites have tanked due to AI summary on search engines. Really like the Atlas Technicians pouch review. I think it would be a good fit for me, but I'm using the Nico pouch right now and I can't justify the cost, want to sell it. Yeah, it's that's the same way I was. Like, that's why I actually hadn't bought an Atlas patch yet. I kept looking at the Murphy one. That's the one I really wanted. And then for the T6, because I thought it'd be a good fit. But I'd already spent so much money on Vito pouches at the time that I'm just like, so every time I'd go to Atlas and be like, I'm gonna buy something from Atlas, I'd always end up getting another vest because I was set on pouches in a sense in my mind. Like, I didn't need one. So it's always hard because all those pouches, the good pouches, are up there in that $100 or more range. And it's like getting into tool bag money, to buy you some of the premium pouches. I got the 8-in-1 about a month ago, opened yesterday. Weight is good. Hate the stubby part and like the ratcheting screwdriver bit grip better than the magnetic. I don't use the stubby part in mine, but I like the screwdriver part of it. I use the stubby part as a bit holder, really, more than anything. I did change out my bits because I don't think mine, let's see, I still got that one in here, don't I? Yeah. I think I changed out my bits too. Yeah, I changed out all my bits to like the impact rated ones so that whenever I've got this in my bag, I can take those out and put it in my lock and bit holders. But I don't ever use this. So this is basically a screwdriver to me with a bit case. I never used the stubby part of the vessel one either, whenever I was trying to use that one either. It was a shirt printing software back in the 90s. It was one of the best logo makers you can imagine. Mordecai said, I think the AI thumbnails are just fine. Just wish different channels would mix it up a bit. A lot of them look the same. How's the Klein Neural Jaws working out for you? I've used them twice, and they were good. I just used them because I had them, and I was purposely wanting to use them. They were both places where I would normally just use my Cobras, and I don't. Again, I'm not. I don't want to word it. I guess whenever I was making that video, because some people were the way they were commenting, and it's the way I phrased it. It's kind of the question I asked was, where would you even use these? I mean, I know obviously you'd use those on places where you want to get more grip on a nut or something like that. What I was meaning by it is, where is the place that I'm going to grab these instead of just grabbing my Cobras? Because normally on a nut or boat, I can typically use a Cobra, but somebody did say, I don't remember who it was now, but, and I don't have those in here, but sometimes you're in a pretty tight spot, and the Cobra, if you can't get, like, maybe you can only turn it a little bit or something like that. And he was saying there was times, I think he was an appliance repair or something like that. I don't remember what it was he said now, but he said that there's been a couple times where he hadn't been able to get his Cobra like around whatever that fastener was to get kind of that S locked into it, but he could get something on the flats. Of course, with the Cobra, you only got a little bit of teeth hit whenever you're on the flats. So he said that's the case that he runs into pretty often. And that made sense. Like that would be a good, like there's going to be times where maybe what you're able to grab a hold to is a flat surface, and your Cobra, if you can't get it in the right position to go over that edge of that, peak, then maybe that's when it's the better fit. That was what I was trying to figure out, is when am I going to grab these over my Knipex Cobras? Did you ever try to put an insulated bit in the Klein ball grip? Trying to have a ball grip with 6 bits to lighten my tool bag with 6-inch bits. As far as I know, the only insulated bits they're in my MCT are those Filo ones. They'll go in it. But any other like insulated bit that you're going to get, like in an insulated screwdriver, like the 6-in-1 here, like all these aren't 1/4 inch. Like I think they do it on purpose so that you can't do what you're saying. Like they're not going to go. I thought I had the ratcheting ball grip in here. Yeah, I do. They're all made so that they won't go in there and lock, because those are a little bit small. Some of them are a little smaller, some of them are a little bigger depending on the brand, but I think they purposely can't make these in a 1/4 inch so that people can't do that. Now the Filo bits that I've got a review for, they're insulated and they're 1/4 inch on one side, but it's still not having, like, you just have to realize when you do that, it's not an insulated screwdriver. You're an insulated blade in a regular screwdriver. So you still have to be a little bit, more careful with it. But the Filo ones are the only ones I know of. I'm not saying that there aren't other ones out there, but they're the only ones I know of. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you will be like him. Answer a fool as his folly deserves. That he is not wise in his own eyes. How are the new Klein pliers wrench with the serrations? Duct tape tech said that's the same thing with the Bowery. I haven't used them a ton. Like I did put them in my bag so that I would try to grab them more often. Because again, I'm just curious. I'm sure they're going to work. They've worked good the times I've used them. Again, I don't know that you get as much. You're definitely not going to get as much bite as what you're going to get with a pair of Cobras, because the teeth are totally different. Like the Cobra teeth are kind of aggressive. Some way said, I believe he said using AI is lazy, not Joey is lazy. But what I'm saying is Joey uses AI, so you can put the two and two together. If you say that's why I'm saying you can believe that. I'm just saying you're painting with a broad brush when and somebody might be using it in the sense because they are being lazy. But you're painting with a broad brush when you say doing something is lazy. Because like I said, does that mean you never Google search anything? Do you never open up apps to figure out information? Do you never, do anything of that nature and use the computer to do work for you? Because that's what AI is doing. It's just doing some work for you. It's making a thumbnail that I'm telling it to make. I'm saying use this picture and use this picture and put the words technician's pouch on it and make me a 16:9 image, putting those three things together. And then that's what it comes up with. How's that different than saying, Google, tell me this? To me, that's the same thing. I get what he's saying is this is making something, but it's making something that out of the things that I've given it. So it's the same as somebody giving you an answer out of the question that you asked it. It's still work being done by something else. So and that's from the lazy aspect of it. So if you're saying doing this is lazy, then Google searching is lazy. Then opening up a Home Depot app and a Lowe's app is lazy. You could just drive to the store and go see what they've got and see how much it is. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's not a different thing. I'm saying if you're going to use the word lazy, that seems a little bit far to me. You have any experience with Tecton sockets? I don't, Mordecai, but I know there's a bunch of people in here that do. I think Clint's got some. Probably some other people. I've been here for watching and commenting for years. Just because I don't yap all the time doesn't mean I don't fit in. I disagree on AI use, and that's all it takes for you to cast me out. I'm not casting you out, Mr. Burgundy. Like I said, you're entitled to believe what you want to believe on it, and I have no problem with you even feeling that way about it. You can feel that way about it. I brought up, and that's why the title of it is, am I AI thumbnails, is it lazy? Because that's what somebody said to me in a comment. And I think that's going a little far just to paint with a broad brush that somebody that uses it is being lazy. Because like I said, I make a thumbnail both ways. 90% of the time, there's two thumbnails going on. You might see the AI version, you might see my version. I have no way to pick out which one of the two that you're going to see. So it's not that I'm even sometimes trying to save time, because I'm actually doing double. I'm making both of them. The biggest thing for me is I can do the AI one on my phone while I'm at work, while I'm waiting on something else to happen, whether I'm waiting on a customer, whether I'm waiting on something to dry, whatever it is. To make my own, I've got to be at home at my computer. So again, if you want a tool reviewer that's going to review tools, that's going out, and you want them to be somebody who uses tools, that's going out and actually working and using the tools, then that means he's out all day long working, doing a contractor job or doing whatever it is that he does or she does. And then you also want somebody who answers your comments. And then you also want somebody, that maybe does a live like this or does whatever and spends all that time. It's like, if they can catch a break, and again, it's not saving time, it's just allowing them to be more efficient with their time, because right now I'm not doing anything and I can make my thumbnail from my phone. Or no, I got to get home, and instead of spending time with, my wife, or spending time cutting my grass, or spending time doing this and that little bit of free time that I might have, no, I better get on my computer and make a thumbnail this way. And if that means you're being lazy to do it on your phone instead of doing it, during that time on your computer, then I guess I'm lazy. But I think that's a broad brush. But again, you're entitled to that opinion. I'm not sitting there, I'm not saying it. It's not a broad brush. I said using AI to generate thumbnails is lazy. That's what I said. So you're saying anybody, and then just a minute ago you said you didn't say Joey is lazy. Well, I use AI to generate thumbnails. So boom, you put the two and two together. When can we get some MM merch? I don't know. And I've looked into that a couple times, and there's a couple different. I don't feel like I can go through any of those fourth walls or any of that stuff because I don't think they're going to make like my hats the way that I make them whenever I have them made for me. Even though they got the same hat, like the process of getting on there is very weird. Like there's nobody, like I like being able to walk in there and being like, this is what I want. And you can't really do that with them. It's all you upload things and you see it. I guess I could get on there and do one and order it from them directly and see kind of what it looks like. Because that's the one that I lean towards using the most was the fourth wall people because it's tied in directly to YouTube, like it ties your channel together and all that stuff. It seemed like to me it'd be the easiest way to do it. I don't know if any of y'all know of a merch company thing that basically just does stuff on demand, and it isn't about. I don't care anything about the making money aspect of it. It's just if somebody wants something, they can get it, and I don't have to order a big bunch of them because I don't want to be. Although like hats and stuff, I go through them, so it doesn't matter. Like I don't care to order hats and have some here, but then by the time I make a hat, like if I took that hat, I order my hats off Amazon, the Richardson's 112s, and then I take them to my place and have them put the logo on them. And just those two things combined cost me quite a bit just to make my own hat. So then if you add on top of that me shipping it to somebody, it would be an astronomical price on hats. So you got to figure out some way to take out all that middle people, like to where somebody's already got the hats, they're printing the stuff on them, and they're going to ship them to make it cost effective. But I don't know any good company to do that kind of stuff. Like I don't know which one's the best one for that. Have you had the joy of spraying a gravity drywall hopper on a ceiling? No, the only well, I think I had used it one time, but the I got lucky and the drywall sprayer that we used at the last place I worked at was the one that sat on the ground and you filled it up and you just had the gun and the hose, and that's night and day different than holding up all that junk on top of the gun for sure. I think I maybe have used one of those one time in my life, but every time I used it, it was that one and it was super nice. We'll see you, Roy. Flex Fit is the best hat, Don Shop said. I always buy trucker hats, like this kind right here, this kind here, and then I always buy the adjustable. Most of the fitted hats, I guess my head's a weird size. Some of those Flex Fit ones do fit okay. Like I used to have some Milwaukee ones that were that, and they fit okay. But for the most part, I like the ones where I can adjust them. I think my head's a weird size or something like that. Your content's an honest review on what works and what doesn't. I told you. Richardson 112 is my fave. Valerie, speaking of, did you get my package? I actually just got it before I came in here. Appreciate that because there's extra in it that I wouldn't know was coming, but I appreciate that. I'll probably wear the one on the next live. Is this a real live or is this AI? Oh, she probably hadn't seen my first picture. Although I ain't gonna lie to you, AI created that. Amanda just blew up. Amanda's could be AI all along. What brand of duster do you have on the work table? That's the Wolf Box. This one's the newer one, the MF 200, not the 100. It's the one with the replaceable batteries. If I was going to buy one, I'd buy this one. I keep the other one in my truck and I keep this one in here because I actually use this in here more than in my truck. And I like being able to swap the batteries. And I like that it sits flat since it stays on my workbench. The other one doesn't have that flat base. It's got like a curved base. So I leave it in the door of my truck. That's what I blow off my stuff that I keep in the back seat of my truck. I use the other Wolf Box to blow that stuff off before I put it up. And then I use a big blower, like not a big one, but just a regular blower in the back of my truck for the stuff that I put in the back. You ever try the Mexico tools like Urea or Trooper? No, I never have, Daniel Martinez. Martinez squares are highly overpriced. They are expensive. Amanda bought me mine for our anniversary one year. It's been something I wanted. I tell you one I'd like to have though, that looks really good, but they're probably pretty expensive too. I haven't looked at the prices. Those squig jig ones. I wanted one. I wanted a trim square. I use a trim square more than I use a 7-inch because I like how it fits in pouches and pockets and all that. But I wanted one that had the level on it, and I also wanted the one with the reveals because I use that on door trim and stuff all the time. And then other than that, there's several things on this that I don't really use that often other than the scribing and all that, but I just wanted one, and it was something I didn't want to spend the money on either as far as buying it for myself because the little Milwaukees and the Swansons for 10-13 bucks do just fine as well. But she got it for me for something. I don't remember what it was. I want to say it was our anniversary one year or something like that. Valentine's Day, she said, actually. Might need to check my blood pressure tonight. I'm worked up. The lazy word gets me worked up. I'll use it to blow out HVAC electrical sections. Yeah, it works really good for that, like disconnects or like if you turn off, even like in HVAC work. Again, I might not do some of the same stuff that you do, but yeah, all the space where the capacitor and the all that kind of stuff contactors is. Whenever you open that up and it's a big spider's nest and everything else, you can take that and blow it out. Any predictions for new tools, M12 Surge? I hope so. We'll see. I have way too many pouches, but every time I see that Nico pouch on the wall, I want it. I would definitely get if you buy a Diamondback pouch. Again, I don't have any of them, so this is just me saying it, and this is just me saying it in general of owning pouches. I would like their newer versions, the X ones or whatever, got clips on them. I think that makes every pouch a little bit more usable than the Velcro. Like the Atlas is a little different because it's kind of like a clip that you got on there. At least you can put that on a lot more stuff. And I've got that thing screwed up there. I'd take it off, but you know what the back of an old Diamondback pouch looks like. It's the big Velcro that you have to undo and redo and stuff all the time. I think, to me, that's why the Diamondback ones work well, or at least they did, the old ones. And again, now they got clips, but most people put those on tool belts or tool vest and leave them on there. Like, they never take them off. And if that's what you're doing with any pouch, then that's fine. I change up all the time. Sometimes I'll wear my vest. Sometimes I wear it on my belt. Sometimes, I'll wear a different vest and I want to move it to that one. So to do the Velcro thing for me, it's just a big pain. I don't like it. That's what I didn't like about Atlas's old pouches. Why I bought a few of them whenever I bought my first vest, and then I'm just like, no, this takes too long for me to undo it and move it all the time. So I'm glad they at least moved to this. That's a lot better, in my opinion, than what they used to have. But the old Diamondback's the same way as the old Atlas stuff was. I've seen Home Depot practically giving away the M18 Impact with a bunch of tools. Yeah, to probably give us a new M18 Impact instead. I would hope, surely, since they gave us a new M18 Surge, that, because to me, the old M18 Surge and the old M12 Surge, they're very much the same impact with the battery on the end, like different battery on the end. So I would think that they could surely take the new M18 Surge and rework the, internals or whatever to be 12 volt and just put that other battery and the handle and stuff on it. I wouldn't think it's that far from being ready, because I would assume that's what they're going to end up doing. I like being in a good conflict, makes me happy. I'm just glad you have thick skin. Well, I probably shouldn't have brought it up because it's going to start stuff with certain people. Because, like I said, out of 42,000 people, there's no way I'm going to make 100% of the people happy. Like, out of 40, there's going to be some people who like this person and don't like this person, of political things and all that kind of stuff. And there's going to be some people who like AI and don't like AI. There's no winning, like, no matter what it is. So I didn't bring it up to start something. I just brought it up because I've noticed it in the comments. And again, out of 42,000 people, you'll probably get some either way. It doesn't matter. If I stop using them right now, I'm liable to, what happened to your AI thumbnails? I really like those. I'm sure I'd get one of those comments eventually. But the more that I thought about the lazy aspect of it, that's what was, as if the people who are calling you lazy don't do things where the computer does work for them. But it's different because it is what it is they're doing. That doesn't make sense to me. That's you being a hypocrite. The Nico colorway just looks cool. My work forces us to use an AI app for work orders and time. I almost feel violated using my AI app on my personal phone. Do you like the M12 or M18 multi-tool better? I never bought the M18 multi-tool. I've got the old and the new M12 one, and then I bought a DeWalt 20 volt one because I wanted one with the trigger. I bought that, and I run M18 batteries in it with a battery adapter. So I never bought the M18. I ended up buying the other one. We'll see you, duct tape. Somebody'd like to get the Holstery Mod mini pouch. Yeah, that's the one that Tools with Tim just had a video for. It looks pretty good. I think I like it better than the old Holstery nickel pouch. Looks wise, again, I haven't had it in my hands, but functional wise, it looks like it'd be a better option. Is Malco still made in the USA for the sockets? I know they stopped making lock grips. I don't know, Sadalgo. I've got a ton of them, but I haven't bought any in a long time because most of the stuff, I've got so many Klein ones now that I haven't had to buy any quarter 5/16. Like used to, I'd run through those because I'd lose one somewhere or whatever, and I was always buying one at the because I used to only could get the quarter 5/16 Malcos at like the plumber supplies and the HVAC supply stores and stuff like that, which Home Depot carries them in their plumbing section now. At my Home Depot, they'll have some of them, but there for the longest time, I'd have to get them at the supply stores. So every time I went, I'd see them up there on the wall and being like, go ahead and give me one of them. So I've got a bunch of those uh, over the course of time, and I still got quite a few of them. But I've had so many Klein ones, from getting screwdrivers that have them in them to getting connect sets that have them in them, that I haven't bought any in a while. So I haven't looked at any packages for a while. Somebody mentioned Vito. I won't worry about Vito until spring promo. I'm that way now. I've got so many of their stuff that I ain't buying anything unless I'm getting something for free. Matt said the Malco flip sockets are Taiwan. Trumpets companies hoping the Malco Edge HVAC is priced cheaper than Appion when they come out. You have a small Klein light that fits in the Vito slots, right? Do you like that better than the Milwaukee one of the same size? Both $40. So the Klein light that I've got is this one. I don't have the Milwaukee one that's like this. Matt's got the Milwaukee one like this. Matt HMM does. I don't know if anybody else does, but I know he does. And it's thinner than this one. I like this one. I haven't had the Milwaukee one. I'm sure it's probably equivalent wise because it pivots every which way, has magnets. I use this. I've used it. It's probably still green. Yeah, still green. I've charged this one time, but I've used it. I bet I was probably there for 4 hours at least, maybe even 5 hours. And I didn't turn it off very many times. I did run it on the lowest setting because I knew I was going to be there for a while. So yeah, that setting right there. And I just kept leaving it on. And then I was changing a bunch of lights out in a drop ceiling. I changed out 32 of them. And I'd go up and set it up inside the ceiling while I was working on the next one. I'd bring it down. I wouldn't even turn it on and off between lights. Like I'd climb down and get up there and just leave it sitting up there. Even if I was doing something down below, I just left it on. I turned it off a few times during that, but I think I was there for about 5 hours and it's still green. And I also used it here some, working on my lawnmower and working on some different stuff, and it's still green. So the battery seems like it's pretty good, unless it's one of those that goes from green to red and then like is dead in 2 seconds. Sometimes you get a light that's like that. But so far, so good. I have mixed feelings on AI in general, but using it for a thumbnail is the least of our problems in this country. Come on, people. Hey, Mr. Morgan, I really enjoyed your Ford F-150 pack out video. Got a lot of great ideas. Are you still liking your deck system? I love it. Like, now the new deck system, I think the drawers on the newer version would probably be better because they're more boxed. So, because I've had mine since like 2016, I think, is whenever I got those drawers, because I got it about the same time I got my truck. And, of course, I've always had a tonneau cover or that camper topper over the top of them. So like they've not just been out in the weather like maybe somebody, so I can't tell you for sure how well they weather, but they've been holding up great. But mine have like a slow pitch to them like this and then bottom out. It's not a problem with how I use them, but the new ones are squared off, and I would think it'd be easier to fit certain boxes and stuff in them, like a lot less wasted space, I would think, in my opinion. So I bet they're probably really good. I would probably buy, if I buy another truck later on down the road, one of my first purchases would probably be a set of deck drawers. Because I know I'm going to have that truck long enough that it's worth buying them. That's just like at the time whenever I bought mine, I think it was like $1,100 or $1,000 for my drawers, but I've had them since 2016. So I've had them for 10 years now. So would I pay $100 a year to have a set of drawers in the back of my truck that are like weather resistant and all that kind of stuff, absolutely. Like, yeah, it's a lot of money at one time, but you're going to have them for a while. So if I had a truck that I knew I was going to have for a while, I'd buy a set of deck drawers. I have the Navac analog gauges. The digital ones look pretty cool. One of these days, I want to get me a set of like those field piece probes and stuff just to have so that I can check stuff. I don't carry anything. I don't do a lot of that work now. I used to do more of that work when I worked for a facility and I took care of everything in house. But as a contractor in my own business, working by myself now, HVAC is like the last of the things that I do any work. And it's usually the only thing I do as a customer that I do work for, just in general, calls me and says that their AC doesn't seem like it's working right. And they ask me if I'll come look at it, and then I'll go look at it. But I don't get calls to, hey, my like AC's out. Seems like everybody in my area just calls like HVAC company. So, and there's a lot of stuff I can't do anyways. Like I'm technically not even supposed to do like the refrigerant side of things. I can't buy it. So I use AI for all my thumbnails. It's a tool. I don't have time to waste time. Like right now, I'm working a 32-hour shift. I'm leaving work tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon. The light I'm thinking of is like a slim one. I know you have the Milwaukee one. It's a magnetic bottom, and I think has regular batteries, about the size of a roll of quarters. Oh, okay. You're probably talking about like this one. Maybe this one. I don't know if this is what you're talking about. Magnetic bottom. This one's really good. I like that it just takes regular. I used to be a regular battery person. Like I didn't like anything where I had to charge it, but now I've got so many things that I've got to charge. It's just become second nature. But used to, I was like, if it's chargeable, I don't want to mess with it because if my light's out, I want to be able to just put batteries in it and run the thing. And just replace it instead of now I got to go plug this up and wait for it to charge. But now I got so many lights that it's not a big deal. But this one's a really good light, in my opinion, for as small as it is. I've had several of these. I think I put one of those in my son's tool bag whenever I made him a tool bag, but I probably got that one. I think I got a couple more of them too. I used to have quite a few of those that I kept in most every bag. What's the magnetic pad called that you use with the SPMC? It's the Lotusol, and I don't remember what the size on it is. It basically fits in there, but it's this brand right here. I've got it in the back of, actually, let's see, did I put that in my, it might still be in my, because I don't think my Evo pouch has, let me see if it's still in here. No. You got me curious on that now. I'm not real sure what I did with that. Maybe it's in my CBLD. Because I don't think I put that in my Evo, because there's not really, I might have put it down in the, it might fit in the front pocket of my Evo. Yeah. It's the Lotusol brand, so it's the same as this one right here. It's just a different size. I can't remember. I've got it in a, if you look up my tool haul, or I've got in my Amazon store, I've got like an SPMC loadout list, and it's probably in that one, but it's this brand right here. If you search Lotusol, I want to say it's like a 8 by, I don't think it's 8 by 11. Maybe it's like 8 by something. I don't remember what the size is on it. 10 by 8 or something like that. My main job is representing law enforcement. I did buy me some new, I'm trying out some Black Rifle. That's what's in the cup. Just black in the more bigger bag. I haven't had this before. It's pretty good. I don't think Amanda's going to like it. It's kind of she don't like certain ones the way that they smell whenever I brew them, which to me, they smell like coffee. And there's certain ones that she doesn't like the smell of it. I don't think she's going to like the smell of this one. Get the Waking the Neighbors Black Rifle. I might have to try that one next. I don't like coffee. Yuck. What are you trying to say, Carlos? People that drink coffee are lazy? That's why you're amped up tonight. Black Rifle coffee's loaded. Friend of mine worked at 511, got us all addicted to Black Rifle. I noticed at the Dunham Sporting Goods, we've got a Dunham Sporting Goods here, and they've got 511, like a lot of the clothing in there. And I noticed they sell, I didn't know that they even had this there, because I don't think I haven't seen this in my, I don't think, Clint, does your Kroger have Black Rifle? I don't think mine has it, because I've looked for it a couple times and I hadn't seen it. And I didn't know any place locally. I ended up getting that off Amazon because it was on sale. That's why I got it, because it was on sale. But I noticed that store did have it. Like, in fact, that's where I got this hat at. Is that the Wolf Box 200? It is, Don. It's really nice. I like it. It's came down in price too, I think, from the time in which I made a video for it. Because I just put it in there was a video I had it in the other day. What was the video I had it in the other day? I don't remember. Might have been the last. No. I don't remember. There was some video I talked about it the other day because I remember going to find a link for it, and that's when I saw that it seemed like it was a little bit cheaper. I don't know that it was a little bit cheaper, but it seems like it's a little bit cheaper than what it was whenever I filmed the video for it. Wolf Box getting a lot of love tonight. Gonna have to get me one for the size that they are, and then they're not crazy loud. Like this is, of course, this is coming through a microphone. But that's the biggest setting, and that's the lowest setting. I usually use it on the 2 because the 2 you can press the button and it just stays on. You get to the max setting, you have to keep your finger on the trigger. So a lot of times I'll put it on 2 and I'll blow off my everything around in here. And then this is also like, I usually do like what I've done before on some lives where I'm just cleaning tools. Like I'll bring stuff in here and clean it and blow stuff off. I've actually tried not blowing off stuff in here as much as what I used to, because I have found, which not so much this just kind of blows it to the ground. And then every now and then I'll sweep and vacuum or do whatever. But I used to just come in here with my big M18 leaf blower and just blow stuff. I'd open the garage door and just go around and blow stuff towards the door and blow it out. But I have found ultimately all that really does is blow it all up into the air, and then everything you go get down is just got crap all over it. So I've tried to quit doing that just to keep myself out of habit. And hopefully now that I've got the ceiling and everything done and the walls done, I've got less places for dust and dirt and all that kind of stuff to just get in here just in general. And now that I got a building over top of this one, hopefully it won't be as bad in here with dust and stuff as what it used to be. But it's also a garage. I mean, it's going to happen. Pretty sure Monster is the reason I have diabetes and heart rhythm issues. I go ice coffee, ice cream, not the drink. BMCK said that's what Amanda likes, coffee flavored ice cream, but she doesn't like coffee. I made it to 35 years old without coffee or energy drinks. Boot camp, tower guard, double shifts, didn't matter. My third daughter had health issues, and the wife had a rough recovery, gave in to caffeine. I started drinking coffee whenever I worked third shift, and I started out with a little bit of coffee, a lot of cream and sugar, and then I've just over the course of time weaned myself down to black, and now I only like it black. But I drink it all the time. Like I drink it all day long. Like it can be 100 degrees outside, and I'm still drinking coffee. Like it's my drink. It's my favorite drink, and the caffeine doesn't affect me. I've even bought the ones that are crazy caffeine, and it's no different. Like I can literally drink. I can go in there and make myself after we get done with this. I can go make another cup, sit there and drink it on the couch. That would be 2 cups in a row, and go to bed and be asleep in 5 minutes. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but that's just been the case. It's the same way with monsters and all that stuff. They don't do anything to me, and I can not drink any for a long time. And it's not like I'm addicted to caffeine and like have become immune to it or something like that. It just takes more of it because I can go a whole weekend and never drink a cup of coffee because we're out doing something and we're busy and we're not by any place, and I don't, and all I drink is water or whatever, and I don't have any kind of effects from not having it either. They have one called Murdered Out that's really dark. Attack of the Hummingbirds. Yeah, if I open that garage door, it's another thing that might happen. I haven't seen any hummingbirds around here for a little while though. I have one in the morning, can't get a good sleep. Joey said if after 2 p.m. There's a lot of people that are like that, like they can't drink it in the afternoons, like or in the evenings, or they can't sleep. I just finished my coffee, about to hit bed too, and in the heat, preach, Joey. Fun fact: some people like Joey have a genetic mutation that makes caffeine have no effect on them. That must be me, because like I said, I've never felt uppity from drinking anything that has caffeine in it, and I've never felt like bad if I go through a spurt of not drinking it. Like so, because at first you want to think, oh, maybe I don't get the effects of it because I drink so much of it, so I've just become immune to it. It's almost like the drug, which is what it kind of is. It like just takes more to get you to that high or something like that. But it's not. That's not the case because, like I said, I don't have downs off of it. Somebody drinks it by the pitcher. I sleep fast after coffee, but not soundly. Vivid dreams. I don't dream much either. I was actually just thinking of that the other day. I think we was watching a TV show where somebody was having dreams or something, and I got to thinking. I was like, "What was the last dream I had?" I don't even remember the last dream I had because I don't. I just don't think I do it very often, or if I do it, I don't remember it after I wake up. I guess maybe I do it. I just don't know it. But finally finished laying the tile today. So me and my buddies been tiling a hallway in a commercial place, and then they had taken some fire rated like filing cabinets. I don't know if y'all have dealt with those any, but how heavy they are, like a file cabinet that's a fire rated one. They were moving those. They even paid somebody to move them. They moved them from upstairs to downstairs, and I don't know if they just used a regular dolly or what, but all their stairs have tile going to the edge of the top stair, and then they had like treads, rubber treads on all of them, and the tile had like a Schluter nosing on the edge before it went down to the next step. But everywhere where they took those dollies down with those fire cabinets, it just broke those Schluters. It bent them, and smashed them in and broke the tile. So we had to go in and cut out the first row of the tile on the steps and the sluiter and redo those. So we got the hallways tiled and grouted. The stairs are tiled. We got to go back in the morning and grout those. And then I got to go to the place where I installed all those lights. They're doing a little bit of, they're changing. Basically that suite's changing from what it was to something else. And they were doing some framing in there and they needed to move some lights, but they didn't know exactly where yet. So he called me and told me that he was ready for me to come back and add a light and move another one. So I'm gonna go do that tomorrow after I get done with the tile job. And then I got to go look at putting in a handicap ramp in a garage. I'm not going to be doing that tomorrow. I'm just going to go look at it and get measurements and all that kind of stuff. Probably doing that next week. That's the work I've got going on. In the next little bit, I want to try the Annex insulated bits. Yeah, I've seen I've looked at those Trupett's company a couple different times. I especially was looking at them, and that's how, whenever I found those phyllo ones, I bought the 2 square phyllo ones. But yeah, those Annex ones look a little interesting. I've seen them. Any spoilers on the next vid you have planned? So I got a laser from Milwaukee. I've also got another tool from Milwaukee, but I don't know when I'm going to do that one. I've been waiting I was supposed to have a job where I was going to be using it, and I think that maybe has fell through, but it might happen. But I got some footage. I've been getting work footage in particular for the laser video where I used it on that tile floor and some other stuff like that. So I've been getting little clips and stuff like that to put with it whenever I do that review. So I've got that. I've probably got a tool haul coming up pretty soon. I've got 4 things over here on my list of the things that I've been saving up to do a tool haul with, that are just small stuff that I picked up that were on deals, or just little things that don't make a review video within themselves. And let's see, what else do I got? Oh, I'm also going to probably do a video with something about the back seat of my truck, but I'm waiting to hear back from somebody on something on that. I'm looking around to see if I've got something else that's not kind of, I keep a little list going over here. But sometimes I forget to write stuff on that list. I need to work on some pack out boxes and change some stuff around from my old organizers that are the job ones. I'd like to change those to pack out and then use these as because right now I've got like some, I don't know, let's see what I was on there. Y'all can probably see it if I stand up, I don't know. So I moved all those those are my old Milwaukee organizers. You probably have, somebody probably got some of them still. I've got a bunch of those, but I've still got some of my job stuff in those, like Ceiling Grid and some other stuff like that. I'd like to move them into, because I've got some empty pack outs over here. Like all these aren't full. I've got a few empty ones. Like I think maybe the top ones, I got 3 of those and 1 big one that's empty. And I want to make one of these a flooring box. And then I'd like to change my other stuff to this, and then just use these for extra screw, like, because some of these I've just got like extra Tapcons and extra, that kind of stuff like that in there, and change those over to that kind of stuff. It's not that I really need my stuff to be pack out. Like these work fine because I just throw them in my camper topper in my back seat or in my bed of my truck whenever I'm taking them on a job. They don't have to stack, but sometimes it's nice if I'm taking 2 or 3 of them just to keep them from slinging around in the back of my truck, that I do lock them kind of together. So I need to do that at some point, but it's not been a thing that's been pressing to me because it doesn't really affect me much. It's not like, oh, this would make a big difference in my life if I did this. So it's a matter of having time, which I don't have, because I got to make all my own thumbnails. Maximum slope is 1 to 12 on ramps. Yep, 1 inch. And for every inch you got to go up, you got to have a foot. And then I can't remember if it's after so many feet. I don't remember what it is. It's at any turn you have to have a 5x5 like platform, and then I think it's after. I think the max run you can have on one run is 20 feet, but at any time you turn, you have to have a flat spot, or it's 20 feet if I remember right. I always have to look that up to double check because it's not like I build them every day. But the 1 to 12, I always remember the amount of feet you can have between landings is what I always have to check, because I know it's at every turn or at X amount of feet, because it's pretty rare that you got enough room to do the whatever that. I think the max feet's 20 on like a whole run, and it's pretty rare that you got that amount of length to be able to use that much anyways. Most of the time you always got to go like this or something if you need to go that far. Moving noses work. See, you got guess the trades already filmed. Yeah, I did that today. The pictures were a little bit blurry, and I don't look at the pictures a lot of times, which this one's even a reload. It wouldn't hurt me to look at them, but I try not to like overly look at the pictures before I come out here and film, so that I'm kind of looking at the same time. And a few of his pictures were pretty blurry, so you can't see it a lot, but I think since it's a reload and it's a Klein Tool Runner bag, I think it's a good bag to have a loadout of, because a lot of people ask about that bag a lot. But some of the tools you can't really make out in a few of the pictures. Not every picture. I think there's about 2 of them that were pretty blurry, and I couldn't really zoom in and get the stuff. And I didn't know it until I'm in the middle of it, and like I'm already filming, and there's nothing I can do about it anyways. I can't make somebody's picture unblurry. But I think if all of them were that way, I would have went ahead and been like, this isn't good, and well, I'll just have to email them and tell them I can't use these. But it was just a couple of them, so I think it's going to be all right. I'll probably hear about it in the comment section. Oh, Pie Guy asked about the slope rule for a handicap ramp. Yeah, it's the same in a garage. I don't know if you're asking because it's in a garage, if it's different. It's the same in a garage as it is anywhere else. We've got a mission group local that's been building handicap ramps for a few years now, all volunteers. You considered buying a Stabila level with an angle finder. They're nice. I've got 2 digital Stabila levels with I don't have the one that's got the angle finder. I've got a Bosch one that's like that. I think it's a lot like the Stabila one. And I've got a Bosch version that's really good for the angle finder. And then I've got 2 Stabila digital levels that are phenomenal. Like, I love them. Probably some of the, I've said before, those levels, the Stabila digital levels and a 3-plane laser are 2 of the biggest things. Like the digital levels, since my eyesight's kind of gone a little bit over the last few years, has been phenomenal. Like, I wouldn't even want a level that's not digital anymore. In fact, if I do have one that's not, I get my digital one out and stick it up against it, because it's just so much better to me using those numbers than a bubble that maybe I'm not looking at to know it's exactly in the middle. And I just feel like it's way more accurate to have 0.00. There you go, some way we got it in there. 0.00 instead of, is that bubble dead in the middle? Like, you're actually getting a number. I think it's just way more accurate. And it even tells you, like, it gives you the arrows of, like, the top of it needs to go this way and the bottom needs to go this way. Like, it tells you which way you need to move stuff to. It's nice. So Amanda's going to help you in the back seat. That should get some views. Yeah, I could have my door open, back seat showing, and yoga pants. That'd be 250,000 views. You can always put those Milwaukee drawers on a 4-wheel dolly to make more room right where the buckets are at. Yeah, I'm probably going to have some more Milwaukee drawers coming in here before too long. I could also move them. I made my shelves to be able to fit stuff like that stuff too, like depth wise, so that if I feel like I need to move stuff. But right now, that's fine. I moved these down here just because I normally kept my vacuum up and under here, and it just always moved around on me, and sometimes it was in my way, sticking out and stuff, and it would roll, and because it's on wheels, and I decided I was going to move these over here because I had some of my pack out on top of my rolling box where my toolbox is over there, and I decided I was just going to change stuff around, so I had all the pack out that actually clicks together in the same spot. And then these are stuff that I don't grab that often. This is all like just extra screws and stuff like that. Because I got to make my own thumbnails. I think you should get a drafting table and draw all your thumbnails. Do you have glaucoma? Not that I know of. The eye doctor didn't say I do. I just can't. Mine's like far away. I can see. Like I can take my glasses off and still read. Like the stuff that's on my wall over there on my labels, it's not exactly clear, but I can read it. Like it's not like perfect or anything. Up close, that's where I finally had to go get glasses. Had it been like if I didn't do the work I do, I probably wouldn't even mess with wearing glasses because now my eyesight's got worse over time of wearing glasses. But it got to be to where it would always be I'd be wedged up in somewhere and I'd be have a screw right here and I'd be trying to get the Phillips head screwdriver in it and like I just couldn't. It was just a blur. Like it was just fighting to figure out where I need to put my screwdriver. So then I started out just wearing reading glasses that were readers on the bottom and nothing on the top. I started out doing that, and then now I got like the transition stuff. When is pipeline? It's sometime in August. I want to say they said it was the 13th or something like that. Progressive lenses. Yep. Yeah, they go. I think I got 3 different steps in it, I think, or something like that, if I remember right. Might just be 2, but I think it's 3. I'm used to them now, but man, I can't. If I don't have them, reading stuff is it's just a big blur. I said I can still see. Like I could walk around and do like I can read the stuff that's on my board right there. I can read the stuff that's over there. It's not clear, but I can read it. It's like not as clear as having glasses on, but like my watch right here, yeah. No, if somebody was to text me right now and the text stuff popped up on my watch, I wouldn't be able to tell you one word that's on there without trying to reach my hand all the way out like to there. Same thing on my phone. Like I'd have to have my phone out to pass farther than what my arms can go. So it's like from here to here, can't read. Get you that LASIK, it's worth it. It's kind of been I kind of want that Abraham in a sense because I hate wearing glasses and they're always dirty all the time. But it's also almost like having at least some form of a pair of safety glasses on all the time because I'm not good about wearing safety glasses. And there's probably been plenty of times based on looking at the scratches on my glasses and the stuff like that. There's probably been plenty of times where even just my glasses have probably helped save my eyeballs. That way, the only thing steaming up are your windows. Yeah, Amanda keeps it so cold in the house that every time you walk outside, your glasses just turn to fog. I got the new trifocals with 35 millimeter wide focals versus 25. They're better but more expensive. Maybe that's so like this is one of the first pair of glasses that I've got, and I've got two other newer pairs in the house that are maybe a slightly different prescription, and it just depends. Like I like them, but for some reason, like this one, I use this because like if I teach class at church or something like that, and I've got to look down at notes, like I'm still talking to people, but I'm looking down to see what my next note might be, and I have to look like this. I can still read with these glasses. Like I can read what's over here without turning my head, or I can look down and still read. But all my other ones, like I've got to actually like move my head to look down at them. I don't know if it's the locate because they're different glasses and different size lenses or something like that, and the reader part's in a different spot, or maybe it's not as far over here or something. But for some reason with these glasses, I can read like off to the side just by looking through the side of them. Whereas all my other ones that I've got since these, I haven't been able to do that. So anytime I wore my new ones for a long time, swapped over, and then I swapped back to these whenever I was teaching class last quarter. And then now I've just been wearing these because I got in the habit of wearing them, because I have to wear these if I'm doing that kind of a thing, because the other ones I can't look down and read my notes. I'm about light fixtured out. It's the way I got Matt whenever I was changing out all them flat panels. By the time I hit about number 25, I was like, okay, this is getting repetitive. Do you want the Ray-Ban Meta glasses and get scripts in them? I don't know. It's AI. You have prescription sunglasses? No, I don't have any prescription sunglasses. And I don't have any of those that turn from like sunglasses to regular glasses either. I've never owned a pair of those. It seems like to me they would get on my nerves because I see enough people that have those that every time they walk in and out of places, it takes a while for them to change. But we'll see you, James. Pretty sure I'm going to get Meta glasses. Oh, Plumbing with Keys has got a set of them. He does some videos every now and then with them. They seem like they do pretty good, because that is a big. I would probably film more working if I had a pair of those, because there's probably times where I can film in the places where I'm working, even though there's people around. I don't typically film at all if there's people around, just because I don't know if they're comfortable and I'm not messing with the asking them and all that stuff. There's some places where I know I can't film. It doesn't matter if there's people around or not, like doctor's offices and all that kind of stuff. But there's also the aspect of me putting a DJI up on my head and walking around with a big camera on my head that just freaks people out and makes people feel weird about it anyways, versus if you just had some glasses on and they didn't know any difference. You're just sitting there, and you could always cut out like people when you're filming, but it's just a total different thing with a big thing sitting there on your head. Nobody's used to seeing that, and they're like, what's this dude doing? So you could probably film more if you had a pair of glasses like that, and get by and then make more videos of you working in the settings that I work in, where there's always usually public people around and all that stuff, and not make people feel as weird about it. Until Klein comes out with the Meta glasses. Bloop said he bought the Ray-Ban Meta and returned them because it's hard to do actual work with damaging them. After the first 2 days, I had noticeable scratches and don't recall doing anything crazy. And it also takes ages to upload from the Meta app to your photos. I will say that's one thing about the DJI cameras, man. They upload to my iPad and my iPhone like faster than AirDrop. AirDrop sometimes takes a long time to go, because I normally edit everything on my iPad because it's bigger screen. Because it's just hard for me to do stuff on my phone like that, like little bitty fat fingers on a little bitty scroll bar or something like that. And sometimes it takes forever for me to AirDrop stuff from my phone to my iPad. But the DJI stuff, I mean, it goes like that. It's really good. I've owned that older, again, the new GoPros may be better. I don't know. But the difference between the DJI that I have and the GoPro that I had is astronomical. Battery life and all that kind of stuff. So I'd recommend, if you're going to get like a action camera, based on my experience, again, not having a new GoPro, I've never had a new one. They might be better, but a DJI in comparison is night and day. We brought in a pallet of those pointy tipped lights, almost gone. The pointy tipped. The big issue with smart glasses is the built-in cameras, invasion of privacy, and creepy dudes on YouTube. Yeah, some way, but everything that's out there can be used in a way that's good and bad. I mean, that's just the internet in general. And there's cameras everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's cameras. You might as well forget about privacy. That's like every house I work in now. Every commercial place, you can be guaranteed you're being filmed. Like, you got to just live your life as if you're on camera somewhere, because you are. There's houses the whole time you're working in there. They could even give me the key to get in their house and there'd be nobody there the whole day. It's like, but they know you're in there because they're probably sitting there watching you. There's cameras all over the place. You have to treat everything like you're being filmed. I think the active translate is a great feature. So you're saying, Bowery, that you take something to translate? It's lazy. You should learn that language. You're taking the job of a translator. We'll see you, True Pets. Klein will call them iBox. Klein's to be orange frames. '80s apartments do not have cameras. Oh, you never know. The person inside of there might have a camera. You'd be surprised. You better act like there's one in there, because there's a very good chance there is. Like, used to, you could walk around the house and be like, I don't know what kind of moron did this, or, whatever. But you better be careful saying all that stuff now. Or look at this picture. That's the ugliest thing I ever seen. Now they're watching you. Now that's freedom, baby. Smile. You're always on candid camera. Always. Yeah. There's a doorbell camera on every house, just about. So, like, there's very few places you're going where you're not on a camera. You might as well forget that. Because almost every place I go has a doorbell camera. There's very few places I go that don't have a doorbell camera. I do mostly vacant places. I think the Knipex 3-piece plier set with the 180 Cobra, 180 pliers wrench, and 200 twin grip for 107 is the best bang for your buck. Those are definitely my 3 most used pliers, like Knipex pliers, other than wire strippers. And size wise too. Like, that's a good, those are good sizes, and for what I do. A lot of people like 10-inch ones, and for certain people that is what you need. It depends on what you're working with, but the 7 1/4, the 180s are that's my jam. This is a complex where we're redoing all the lights. Those are good jobs though when you do that. It kind of gets monotonous, but once you get in the groove of it though, it's a job that you can get in the groove of and, like, actually make really good time on most of the time, and then make good money on it. It does get kind of boring doing the same thing over and over for a long time. That's like I said on those lights where I changed out the 32 of them. Like I said, I think it took me 5 hours to change out 32 lights. That's not counting going and getting them. And, it was a whole day, but I had to go get the lights in my trailer and bring them over and all. But working wise, it was about 5 hours, and getting the old light down, putting the new lights up. And then after like the first 10, you're just like, all right, this is kind of getting into time to make the donuts category. And the thing I hate about the LED flat panel lights, and I don't know why they can't make it a little bit bigger, but man, they give you plenty of knockouts. I mean, you got like 5 knockouts, but I'm like, who in the world can put that many cables inside of this little box. Because if you've got solid wire, it's almost a nightmare. So you're lucky if you got stranded MC. But most lights are always, it's very rare. Anytime I wired them at the place where I worked at, every light had its own whip. Like I would run a conduit down the middle of the room above the ceiling and put boxes in ever so often, and I'd come out of it and put it into, because it's just so much easier than trying to fit just two sets of wires inside of those is a nightmare. Sometimes it's a big pain. Like they don't make the boxes on them big enough. And like I said, especially if you got solid wire, it's even worse. But after you do about 10 of them and you're sticking, and they're always like one goes into one and then it feeds out to the other one most of the time. So you're always putting two sets in every single one of them, trying to get that all wedged up in that box and then get that little screw in and get it tightened down. After about 10 of them, you're just like, okay, this is old. I got my cameras to tell people if you don't belong here, get the heck out. Trying to fit the cover over the wires, it's a chore. Yeah, it is. So the boxes are shallow. Yeah, they're only about this deep. Probably I'd say about, you might have an inch, and they're also only about this wide. Now the length of the box is about maybe this, but this half over here is for a dimmer wire. Like they got dimmer wires in there so you can dim if you want to, and there's a little break in between there. So you're supposed to run, if you got dimmer wires, you run them into that little section and then power wires over to this. And it's too small for multiple lights to come out of one. Like I said, they could make it just a little bit bigger. Would be nice. We'll see you, Clint. We replaced 65 2x4 T8 T-bar fixtures at a sporting store. Had to use a 16 step ladder dragging those around. Store got old quick. Yeah. Yeah, that's when it's nice to have like if it's open, to have a lift, but it's usually not open like that. This one was, I had to be on I took an 8-foot ladder. That's what I had an 8-footer and a 6-footer, but I ended up mostly using my 8-foot one just so I could get up in the ceiling enough. It's the 6-foot ladder. I could stand, if I stood on the top, like where you're not supposed to, that's not a step, I could get up in there enough and be able to see everything. But the 8-foot was a lot safer. This one wasn't as bad. I changed the guy who owns, it's a big strip, like row of suites, like commercial suites. There's the Army recruiting office, the Marine recruiting office, Navy, all those are in there. There's also, this guy runs a property management company who owns the whole building. He runs his company out of one section of it. I did all the lights in his building last December, I think it was. And then he called me and asked me, this suite just came open, and it was a lot easier in this one because those people moved out and all their stuff wasn't there. And all the desk and all that stuff were still in there. And I was having to try to set up a big tall ladder, maybe over here, and the desk was here and the light was above the desk. So I was having to try to reach over a lot of times and do stuff. So it was a lot long. It took me longer to change the ones in his office. And I think he had about half the lights. It took me longer just because of the extra getting to them. Most of those flat panel LEDs designed to run whips up to a hard ceiling at a junction box. Yeah, that's how I always ran mine, Tom. Is like if I was at my place whenever I was remodeling like a place like that was going to be a bunch of offices, I'd run a conduit down the middle of the room with boxes, and then I'd come off of those boxes with one MC cable into each light. And I just liked it better that way anyways, just because if I ever have to change that light, it's just a little bit simpler and, a little bit more work up front, but it's a lot easier. And I feel like it's a better setup too, like for maintenance later on. Because my mind always was even though I was the one who installed the things, came up with how I wanted to install them and all that kind of stuff, I was always thinking from the aspect of, if I've got to work, like if something happens to this, I'm going to be the one that's going to work on it too. So I want it to be maintenance friendly in the big scheme of things too. If I can do something to make it more maintenance friendly, I'm going to go ahead and, if it takes me a little bit more work up front, but it's going to save me work in the long run, then it's worth it. Whereas if you're going into a place where somebody's just doing the work and they know they're not coming back, that's a different mindset to have whenever you're in there doing the work. 30 in 5 hours is pretty efficient. Yeah, it was pretty open, so that made that one nice. And I didn't have to rework any of the whips because sometimes the whips don't work out. Like if you've got an old fluorescent fixture and the way the whip goes into that one compared to where the whip would go into the new flat panel, maybe it's off to the side. Maybe like this light goes to the middle of this light, but then the way you have to put this light in the box is on this side. And for some reason you can't turn it the other way or else the next one won't be long enough. Sometimes you run into, if somebody didn't give you a little bit of extra on that whip, they don't work out and you got to basically take them all out and rerun them. But I didn't run into any of that on this. It was all good. So that's another reason why it went a little bit faster. Leave it easier for future work, no matter if it's you or someone else. Yeah, like I said, I'm always thinking that way of how's this going to affect somebody working on this thing, later, because it's very, very likely to be me. So well, it's around 8 o'clock. I guess I'll get off here. We probably at least lost one subscriber tonight, I guess, but we'll see if we lost any more than that. Maybe I'll be down to 30,000 by the time it's over with. Again, if I irritated anybody and ruffled your feathers, it wasn't my intent to. I'm just trying to basically say maybe you don't understand everything, and to call somebody something, whether it's the word lazy or whatever, because of how they're doing something, maybe you don't understand everything and why they might be using it or whatever, and not everybody's the same. It's a broad brush. When you say doing this means somebody's this, that's the same thing as what I said a long time ago about clean tools and dirty tools. Some people paint with a broad brush and say anybody that's got clean tools, well, they never use them. And then some people say, oh, people who's got dirty tools, they must be like a go-getter and work real hard. And that can be true about both of those, but it could also mean that the person with dirty tools is lazy and just doesn't take any pride in what they do. And the person with clean tools, maybe they do. It's like all four of those scenarios can be true. It just depends on the person and whatever that certain circumstance or whatever that certain place is. But whenever you ever say, that's the whole point of what I was trying to ultimately come out with this. And of course, some people I'm sure just get mad, but you can't just say anybody that does this is this, because it's not the case all the time. Like there's no broad brush that you can paint with. We'll see you, Denny. So now we're creating the back seat of the Titanic. They'll be mad about the hat next. Good night, lazy boys. T-Gig said, weekend's close. Get with the times. Let's see. How do we? If you could please, everybody, we'd live in a perfect world. Joey, just say you got butt hurt, some way said. Yeah. Somebody calls me lazy. I take that as pretty, when you don't know me. Come try to outwork me is all I say. But we'll see y'all.